No worries. Cool. So, Amos, as we spoke about before, like the purpose of what I'm doing here is kind of, I want to get some insights into, how physical fitness has affected, mental health, but also just changed people's mindsets and how it can change people's mindsets through consistency.
Right.
And I'm really, as you know, a lot of what I do is kind of focused around the benefits of that and how that can translate into the rest of your life. And so, if you could tell me a little bit about yourself, for the viewers, and
Okay.
we can take it from there.
All right. Primarily right now I'm a mom. I've done a lot of different things. I have a podcast that you and I talk about all the time, and it's about our journey with adolescent mental health with one of my kids, and just like really how that affected all of us in our lives. I think throughout most of my life I've worked out, but it used to be disguised in dance when I was younger, and I like anything to a beat, like Soul Cycle or any kind of guided class with dancing involved. Then I think I went to the gym a little bit, but I will say like some of the workouts that you have given me have just changed my body in a way that none of those things have. And I think they probably saved us from going completely insane during the beginning of quarantine.
Yeah.
Family, I had everybody doing it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, the conversation around mental health is something that you and I have chatted about quite a lot as well. And my personal struggles with ADHD and how that's helped me kind of transcend, I think, not just transcend, but get out of certain situations in my life and kind of grow as a person. My first intention was obviously aesthetic, and then it kind of transformed into something that I realized was like the benefit was actually mental. And I think that kind of, it speaks to the situation that everyone's been in. And like you mentioned, like quarantine and, what what consistency or routine can do for people in a situation like that, or what it did do, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that's really the thing that I was intending for it to do was, I think that routine was the biggest problem for most people, right? Like when the thing started, it kind of threw everyone upside down. What do you think about that? How did it go for you?
Okay, so the first thing that comes to my mind is that as we went through the experience with my daughter, one of the tools we really found to be the most helpful for her, she struggles with anxiety, was exercise. So that's like that just speaks to your concept, I think is really strong. Anytime that we used to make jokes that like if she was having a rough time, we'd be like, go take a lap, and she'd come back feeling completely reset, so even on that minute level, totally down, love it, that's the best. During the quarantine, for the consistency piece and the accountability piece, I think the first few weeks of quarantine, we were all kind of like, ooh, let's make it fun. It's like a little party. We're all camping out. Like nobody can leave, and it was kind of okay. And then and I looked at each other like, I think we're like on the precipice of everyone losing their minds. And made like a checklist and on every single kid's list. I mean, I've got an 11, a 13, now 17-year-old. They were a year younger before, obviously. And everybody had to work out at least once a day. And I had, I'm going to say, 2 out of 3 of the kids doing your workouts. But the consistency, like, it's not the first couple of times that you do it. It's like the feeling of after a week where you're like, oh my God, I've done it almost every day this week. It's amazing. And having the accountability thing, it was hard for me to send sweaty photos, Joey. But it definitely makes you feel like, almost like taps into this like little guilt and shame of like, if you don't do it.
I mean, so I guess, I guess for people that are watching that don't necessarily know what it is, like the concept that we put into play was essentially that you put your money where your mouth is, right? So you pay up front, you pay double actually, and 50% of it goes into a pot. We attach it to the amount of workouts you're doing for the month. And essentially you either prove that you've completed the workout or you choose a charity that you hate. And we say that jokingly because if you don't want to give your money to like the NRA or Donald Trump or someone like that, you essentially lose money to that person. You end up donating to a cause you don't believe in if you don't show up and you don't prove it. And And I think for most people, it's not really the money because it's not that much
Yeah.
money to lose. Over time, it obviously accrues. But it was also, it was like, that creates a personal accountability template, right? That was like,
Like a little,
you know, the intention was like, I don't have to chase after you. You know, like if I don't show up, I'm losing. But like, then also knowing that I am there, because after a while, I'm going to be like, hey, where are you? Like, where have you been? You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that interaction with that live approach, I think has been really helpful in helping people like also that additional layer, right? They're like, you don't want to disappoint yourself, but you also know that someone's watching. So
Plus,
that becomes,
I mean,
yeah.
in quarantine, it's like the whole, I mean, I'm somebody who likes to work out. And so I had like a little bit of discipline in the beginning. And then all of a sudden I'm like, nah, that's enough setups. I'm fine. You know, so you lose
Yeah.
in your momentum, even if you are that kind of mindset. So I needed someone, I was so missing like someone telling me what to do. And I
Yeah.
did the brainlessness of just like, if I get through this next minute, then I'm on to the next thing. And then I'm halfway done. And then all of a sudden I'm like, woo. And then you feel great.
Yeah.
Did it. I would look over at my husband, who we were doing it together. Also a nice little added benefit. We bond over our workouts, but I'd look over him all day and I'd be like, thank you so much for making me do it. Because I did it in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and like, would you say like the difference between like that additional accountability and just working out on your own? Like, did you see a difference? I know, did you see a physical difference, and did you see a difference in like your attitude towards it becoming automatic as like a positive habit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
Me
yeah.
personally, I think I know for myself working out in the morning is better, but during
Mhm.
quarantine, you just had like, you know, the kids were always around you, and I was like maybe doing it in the afternoon. I think the accountability piece helped me make it more of like a necessitated piece of my routine. Like it had
Yeah.
to be by a certain time. And then after, you know, having to do it for certain reasons, then it just became kind of ingrained, which I think is really, really helpful. Because then you
Yeah.
like you can't
Yeah, I mean,
live without it. I feel like if you skip it, you're even worse.
yeah, right. Yeah. Well, what I've realized is like, because I've been toying around with this in my mind, and I'm like I've been trying to put my finger on it for a while. It's like, what is the main benefit of this? And I feel like I've come upon like the idea of like ritualized self-care, right? I like the word ritual because it's kind of like sacred, and it's like, but it's like ritualizing your self-care, your fitness, because like that one domino as like a cornerstone essentially does translate into everything else in your life. And if you are like me, because I also, if I don't get it done in the morning, like my whole day is weird. If I get it done in the morning, I feel like my whole day is like calmer, like I'm more
More
efficient.
productive.
Everything else is easy.
And I'm like it gives me like a little energy to like actually do the things that are floating around in my mind. Like, wouldn't that be a great idea? And I'm like, I can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. That's cool. And so, um, as far as like, you know, your like, did you discover anything about yourself, like from a time management or like any other perspective, like you know, positive or negative? Did you discover or have any kind of epiphanies after like getting involved with this and starting this, like, and either, you know, succeeding at it, or, you know, were there situations where at the end of it, I guess, did you discover anything about yourself, I guess is the question.
First, I don't think my stomach has ever looked like that. And then second, I mean, I like on a personal note, we went through like Christmas and the holidays, and everybody kind of like goes off the rails in the holidays, and I'm like, I'm just gonna eat and have wine. It's not gonna matter. And then all of a sudden, I just felt like I was getting depressed, actually really, really heavy, hardcore depression.
Mm,
Out to some of my friends, and everyone's like, okay, but you're not working out or doing all these things that you know make you feel better. And I had to like force myself a couple of days, and this is after probably 3 weeks, which for me is a long time of not working out.
mm,
After like 3 or 4 days, I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel better. And it just, you know, it affirms any that you might have. I mean, moving your body, getting your like sweating, feeling like you're, you know, really exerting and trying for something just makes you feel
yeah,
better. And it like
yeah,
all these dopamine, you know, and I'm sure serotonin too.
yeah, yeah. No, like, I mean, I feel like it's the missing piece to such a large portion of mental health and physical health is just movement, right? Just training and doing it daily. Like, we don't do it enough. Like 1 hour a day oftentimes is not even enough. You know, it's like, but what I liked about what I like about this method is that like it does seem like with clients, my own experience with people that I've worked with before, like this system keeps people engaged more for like longer, which is something that I've been noticing. So
Yeah, you know what? I
um,
think when like we were talking about writing a testimonial, because I was like, I want to write something. The thing that I kept trying to figure out how to communicate appropriately was like, nobody really feels like working out before you start, and then you just
yeah,
sit down to start, and there was something about the like easily digestible moments and movements and like the time caps. I love the time caps because it's like 2 minutes. I could do anything for 2 minutes, right? And then
yeah,
then you feel like you're into it, and once your body's into it, then the next one's easier. But I love like the little modules or like the pyramids that you made; those were so good.
yeah,
But anyway, the
yeah.
point is, I would just like trudge through, like going through the exercises, and then at the end, you're sweaty and shaking, and like, okay, now I'm done.
You feel good. Yeah, you're ready. It preps you. Yeah, I mean, that's something I discovered as well. I discovered a lot about um, what what like that, like how to keep people engaged, because there's a line between um, enough repetition to get results, too much to get injured, and also too much to get bored. So like you got to find that middle point.
Yeah,
But those pyramids, the time sets, and it's really more the self-challenge, right? Like self-challenging, that's what really gets results, but also keeps you engaged. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate you, Amos, for taking part in it, and I'm glad that it did such wonderful things for you. Um, did you have anything else you wanted to mention
okay,
before
like
we jump off?
I really love the fact that things and I dorky and like I'm going over the top. But we were like on a vacation out west, and there's no place open, no place to go work out, and I had my kids on picnic tables like at Lake Powell doing the exercises with us. They were so embarrassed. They're like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "You have to do it." But yeah, I love it.
Workout family. I love it. Yeah, I had always have a good time hanging out with you and Shep as well. Everyone's in the game. It's like, are you still doing the beach workouts in the morning?
We didn't today because Luna didn't want to do yoga, but
Oh,
tomorrow because the hard one with the
okay. Yeah, I missed that. That was really nice.
workouts.
Okay, Amos.
Workout clothes still. We just did
Um,
garage.
you did what?
One of your workouts in the garage. Me, Luna.
Oh, boom. Yeah, you still got them on text. Check them out. All right, cool. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. I appreciate your time, and I'll chat to you later.
Okay.
Thanks, Emos.
Bye.
Bye.